The law of attraction is so mainstream these days that most people would have heard or read about it at some point. Yet only a few are able to manifest effortlessly. There are several reasons why many do not correctly apply the secrets of manifestation. It could be the opposite subconscious programming or the lack of emotion infused into the visualization, or the law of gestation, or cause and effect. But manifestation is also governed by something else called the vacuum law of prosperity. To put it simply, if you want to attract anything into your life, then you need to make space for it to arrive. If you make space for it by anticipating its arrival, it creates a vacuum pull and draws the thing into your life. This law is not a new age mumbo jumbo, but it makes perfect sense even when you think about it logically. Anything new that you manifest has to be pulled into your life with the vacuum law of prosperity. Just like it is impossible to make a change in our life by clinging on to old habits, it is impossible to attract into your life what you desire if you're clinging on to old things. You need to let go of old patterns to make space for the new energy to enter your life. If you sincerely desire to manifest something, you have no option but to get rid of the old and make room for the new. Think of an empty glass. When you pour water into it, it becomes full. But there's only so much water it can hold. After it's full, it will be unable to hold even a single drop more. If you force more water into the glass, it will only spill over. This is how your life is, since the same applies to your energy. You live an energetically clogged life and try to manifest something new into your life. Nothing happens when your desires are just spilling over outside and you then blame the law of attraction for not working. All you had to do was get rid of whatever is holding you back and open yourself up to receive prosperity. Most people go through a period of hardship before they start manifesting what they desire. When you get rid of what doesn't serve you, it usually comes at a cost of a dark phase. You might lose a job that wasn't fulfilling, or lose a relationship that doesn't serve you, but then end up manifesting the perfect situation in life. This is why some people who hit rock bottom tend to do well later on. When you are at rock bottom, all you have in life is a vacuum. In such a scenario, you can manifest whatever you desire and pull it into your life if you only try. The late manifestation coach Bob Proctor was a vocal proponent of the vacuum law of prosperity. In an interview, he narrated a story about how this law helped his family. Bob Proctor was very close to his Aunt Marg, who was more like a sister to him than an aunt. Marg's family was very poor and couldn't even afford a car. When Bob Proctor was visiting them for Christmas, her husband Don said in an audibly dejected tone, "Next year will be different." To which Bob said, "You know something, Don. Next year is going to be exactly the same as this year. Every year you say the next year will be different, but it never is because you never change." Bob Proctor then invited Marg and Don to one of his 8-week-long seminars. Bob made sure that they paid to attend the seminar, even though they were poor, because he knew that they wouldn't come back each week if he made the course free for them. For the first few days, both Marg and Don were completely lost. They didn't understand a word of what Bob Proctor was talking about on the stage. Words like manifestation, energy, or the secret seemed almost alien to them. But at one point, Bob asked the audience, "What do you really, really want?" At this point, Marg couldn't think of a single thing she wanted because it had been too long since she had desired anything. After the initial mental block faded, Marg began to realize what she desired to the point that she filled pages upon pages of what she desired out of life. Bob Proctor's seminar then started making sense. Fast forward a few months, when Bob was again visiting Marg, they were having coffee in the living room. Marg wanted to move to the kitchen to have coffee. When Bob inquired about the reason, he learned that Marg hated the living room because she didn't like the curtains on her window. Bob explained that she didn't have to hate the curtains because she will only attract more of what she vibrates with. All she had to do was remove the curtains. Marg said that she couldn't get rid of the curtains because she didn't have anything else to replace them with. What Bob Proctor said to Marg next changed her life. Bob said that even if she had another curtain to replace the old one, she couldn't put it up because she already had the old one hanging up there. This is when Bob Proctor explained the vacuum law of prosperity to Marg. Marg took the old curtains down as soon as he finished explaining the philosophy. With time, she was able to buy and put up new curtains that she loved. It didn't stop there, though. Within the next few months, she replaced the furniture and other things around the house that she did not like with the things she desired. As time passed, Marg and Don understood the vacuum law of prosperity better and eventually started a business. When Bob met Marg the next time, she said, "The vacuum law was the greatest thing. Everything in my life changed when I started to understand it." The lesson we learn from Bob Proctor's story is that the universe fills a void with things. If you have things in your life that you do not like, give them away or sell them. Do anything to get rid of it. It doesn't have to be an object per se. It could be anything. If you have relationships in your life, or negative thoughts in your mind, or even activities on your schedule that lower your energy, then it's time to create a vacuum by getting rid of it. Feng Shui is the ancient Chinese practice of harmonizing the energies of a place. Even Feng Shui experts claim that Qi, or the life force energy, is affected by water, placement of objects, and structures. By carefully organizing the living or workspace, these experts can improve the health, wealth, and happiness of their clients. What do you think would happen when you invite a Feng Shui specialist into the home of a hoarder? The first piece of advice he would give would be to clear out the clutter so that there is a flow of Qi around the place. Your life is similar to such a house. You want to travel but have a packed schedule. You would love to meditate but can't deal with the mental chatter. You desire a better future, but you're still clinging to the past. It doesn't matter whether you hoard objects, thoughts, relations, or activities. Your house, mind, life, and schedule are packed. You must clear the clutter in your life to make space for good energy to flow into your life again. Start forming a vacuum in your life to receive the good you've always desired.